The next live Q&A episode for the Slightly Serious Sign podcast is going to be January 19th for our 100th episode, and we want you to submit your questions. So go to wensco.com/Q&A and submit your questions. You can submit them like text like you did before, but now there's a section where you can submit an audio question. So record your questions, send them in, and we'll play them live on air for the podcast January 19th. And we want you there, and we want your questions. So join us January 19th by submitting your questions, wensco.com/Q&A. This episode is brought to you by Alan Graphics, trusted for innovative, high-performance cast vinyls. Check out their newest product, DPF V9500, a non-PVC polyurethane wall film built to tackle ultra-textured surfaces like a pro. More exciting new products to come soon from Arlon. Check them all out at wensco.com.
Now I'm ready.
Clock it up. Let's go.
That's a good idea because I usually
rock and roll, Daddy-o.
Play. I'm pretty sure this remote barely works.
It probably needs a new battery.
I probably need to buy a clock.
Why is there an Apple tag right there? Shouldn't that be like...
In case I get lost.
An air tag?
Yeah, there's an air tag right there.
It's just in case I get lost.
Aquarium's been known to...
Yeah, people might steal my fish.
I guess so.
My fake fish.
I guess so.
From Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's the Slightly Serious Sign Podcast, starring Mike Hall, with his co-host Tyler Hall, and their sometime sidekick, Domingo Tobar. We invite you to join the show with today's relevant sign industry guest. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Mikey! Hey-o!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 90 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. I can't believe we're still doing this for 90 episodes.
I know.
100 is coming up. If we did our job right, you saw an ad already that said submit your questions for live Q&A. So submit your questions. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, but some of those questions need to be like realistic. They're asking some really odd questions, and
so you didn't get to hear this because you haven't heard the ad, even though you just heard it and now you're hearing Domingo. Domingo hasn't actually heard the ad.
I have not heard it yet.
They can submit audio questions. We can actually hear it in their voice. So
nice.
Rick's gonna have to pre-screen them because we have some people that are gonna need to maybe be bleeped or maybe just be left out entirely once they submit their questions. But it's an available option. So if you'd like to submit audio questions, please do. The same thing I said, now I'm just confused on timeline. Last week we said, if you appreciate the podcast, make sure to go and rate and review it. This is important. And then share it with people that you know. Like I said, we love to hear about how much you like the podcast, but we'd love it even more if you told somebody else that. So thanks for watching. During Print United, a bunch of people had asked about the podcast, so we appreciate you guys. And yeah, I think that's my whole intro. How'd I do? Good?
Yeah.
Pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
we have a new guest who hasn't been here. We're 90 episodes in, so getting new guests is a talent for us at this point.
I don't know if I should be honored or kind of insulted a little bit.
How long it took you?
Yeah. Considering how many times we've seen each other.
Probably a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
I'm okay with that.
It's mostly Domingo's fault, though. He doesn't do any of the scheduling, but I do blame him anytime that this comes up. So
yeah.
So anyways, do you want to introduce yourself, who you are, how long you've been in the industry, kind of where you're from and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Alan Nicholson. I work for Electro-Matic Visual. Electro-Matic is a company based out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. And we're a pretty large company. We have 3 divisions, but the division that I represent, the visual division, we are an LED technology company. So we specialize in designing and building and selling LED message centers. In addition to that, we just recently signed a master distribution deal with a company called Unilumen. They're a pretty household name worldwide, not so much in the United States. And they're one of the largest LED manufacturers in the world. So they do outdoor signs, high-res interior, rental product. So if you've seen, you go to a concert and you see a rental product on a concert stage, that's kind of what they get into, the virtual production stuff. But more or less, I've been with Electro-Matic for 10 years now. It was 10 years this May. And I live here in Grand Rapids. Family and I live in Hudsonville. I have 2 daughters. And I basically help Electro-Matic and sign companies learn more about LED message boards, help them sell them, support them, and, find ways that they can grow their business.
Alan, when you got started in this industry, what did you start in, or where'd you begin?
Yeah.
I guess the process.
Yeah, that's a good question. I started, I grew up in Lansing, went to college at Grand Valley, and I thought I wanted to, go Lakers.
That's right.
It's the cult. As soon as he said it, I was like, oh no.
Yep. And I went to school there and graduated with a hospitality degree, of all things. I wanted to work in restaurants or bars. I'm big into golf, so I thought I wanted to work at a golf resort. And I did that for 4 years and graduated and got into the hotel industry, actually. So,
That's what I was saying, hotel.
So when I graduated and did a couple of internships up north at the Inlet Bay Harbor, if you guys know that up there, Marco Island, I worked I did an internship at Marco Island. But long story short, I worked in the hotel industry for about 10 years in Chicago. So graduated, moved to Chicago, worked for a couple different hotels in the sales, did sales for hotels. Basically, after we had our first child, Olivia, was born in Chicago, we were like, okay, maybe it's time to come back close to family. Mm-hmm. And a friend of a friend connected me with Electro-Matic. At that time, I was kind of getting burned out from the hotel world. You're working nights, weekends, holidays. When everyone's having fun, you're working, basically. Mm-hmm. So I got connected with James, my current boss at Electro-Matic. And, one thing led to another. And I was like, I don't know anything about signage. I really don't know much about electronics, but, you know what? I'm in sales. I can probably figure it out. And, long story short, that was 10 years ago. And, I've been working with Electro-Matic ever since.
Well, as we always say, once you're in, you're never getting out.
There's a lot of truth to that.
So as we kind of make fun of all the names and faces that we just talked about earlier. Yeah. It's like, well, where did they go? Well, they went to this one. They went to this vendor. Yeah. Now this one went to this one. They swap positions. Like I said, you're going to be in here it's a great industry. I think that the opportunities of educating a customer is what we want to do, right? With all the products that we carry, but there's certain things that people are scared of. And I think that electrical, signage like that, right? I think that there are some people that embrace it, but there are some people that just like, you know what, that's just not for me, but it's really more they're scared about that. Right. Yeah. And I don't think is it a big change, or should somebody know certain things before I should be able to get into this or not get into this? Is there any kind of like a preparation that you can bring up?
Well, I mean, it can seem daunting, if you're not used to working with electrical anything, it can seem a little daunting at first. But, and that's where I think, if you can lean on your vendors more than anything, that's where you're really going to learn the most in the shortest amount of time, and realize that it's not rocket science. It's not as complicated as you might think. These devices are meant to, help you grow your business. But it's not as intimidating as you might think. It's just a matter of talking to some of the experts and finding out what does it take, and we'll walk you through it.
I went to a concert actually downtown, or not a concert, it was an event. Oddities on Ottawa. Very crazy.
Sounds like an event you should go to.
I tell you what, it's eye-opening. But I did see a lot of the screens on the back on the stage. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at, trying to get really close, and they're like, sir, you cannot come back here. Yeah. It's like us when we go to somewhere.
You should have told them you were there to service it, dude. They probably would have just let you right back. I have to service the screen, and they're like, oh, okay.
I should have said that.
You could have you probably were wearing a Wensco shirt. You probably could have got through and be like, it says signs
I had my Michigan stuff on.
Oh, that doesn't work anymore.
We'll just say I'm the LED tech. It's urgent. I really got to get back there, and then they'll let you right on through.
Or carry a ladder with me.
Yeah, or a high-vis vest, dude. Those are the two to get you through anywhere.
Let me get the vest. Hard hat,
vest.
Yeah, a clipboard, dude. That's the other one. Yeah. Clipboard. They say if you
I'm here to inspect the LEDs, Mr.
Go.
Exactly.
But anyways, I see them all over the place. I mean, So this will be, I'm trying to think of the timeline. So Monday that this comes out will be the week we came back from SEMA. We're going to see 1,000 of those electronic message boards on the road, in the booths, just at the show, outside the show. Yeah. There'll be thousands of them all over the place.
Yeah, I know. This whole industry has evolved a ton, especially just thinking back to like the last 10 years that I've been with Electro-Matic. I mean, when I first started, we had basically one or two products. We had our LED message center product, and then we had like an industrial product that we would sell to manufacturers and things of that nature. Now it's grown to, like I said, high resolution interior stuff. Yeah. You're seeing it everywhere in arenas. We're seeing the rental product, like you're seeing where people will set one up and break one down for events and shows. And it was around, but now it's, what used to seem like a luxury type product is kind of become a standard product now more than anything.
Well, you see it I think I saw it in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, the whole big, I don't know, it's almost the size of the football field that's up there. Yeah. But to me, it's like, people see that and they're like, oh, I don't want to, it's not as scary as people should. They need to look into it.
It's just a big monitor.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
I remember at the earlier shows, like if you were to go 10 years ago, you would see these displays and it's just like so bright and it was just displaying big lights and it's just like, this is...
You'd get within 50 feet, you wouldn't be able to read it anymore.
I was tan on this side.
Blue. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point that you brought up, though, is like 10 years ago versus now, it's very different, right? So if you kind of have been like, we've never got into electric message centers or anything like that at all, I think what's going to happen is you're definitely going to start getting left behind because some people are just going to start requesting it, which is probably already happening for a lot of these sign shops that don't deal with it. And they're just like, oh, yeah, we don't do that. Right. And then they just go elsewhere. And I think from what we've seen from people that adopt it, there isn't nearly as much work, I think, as people think there is that goes into it. Right. So like when you just came to the open houses, right? So you probably dealt with a bunch of people that were like, oh yeah, we don't do this. And so what do you think people's like, misunderstandings or what they expect them to be versus what is actual? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we have some guys where, maybe they don't want to get into it, maybe because they don't feel like they have the equipment to do it. You have a lot of guys that they don't have a bucket truck
or a boom truck
or a boom truck or a crane or something like that. But I mean, there's a lot of guys out there where they make their jobs doing installs for a lot of people. Same thing, like you have sign wholesalers they're building signs for other sign dealers and stuff like that. So you can build your network. And honestly, if somebody were to ask me, hey, do you know somebody that could install this for me? I could rattle off a dozen names of people that would do this for you. So, I mean, you got to think about, if you have someone with some electrical experience to get an idea of, okay, what kind of voltage are these running? How much power do you need to run? How far are you running this power? Those types of things. You also got to think about, foundation, steel, concrete, all that kind of stuff to put in the ground and make sure it doesn't fall over and you have some grasp of that. But really, I mean, once the sign is up, the sign companies are really pretty much hands off. I mean, really the way it works is, a sign company could come to us for a project. We'll meet with the sign company and the end user, whoever is interested in the sign, ask some simple questions about how do they plan on using it? How, what are they allowed to get? There's a lot of rules and regulations out there.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, about, what size can you get? What kind of content can you put on it? What kind of content are you not allowed to put on it? And then from there, we can, put together a solution for them. And then once the sign has been sold and put up, really, I mean, it's a matter of handing the keys to the customer. And then, guys like us at Electro-Matic, we're just there to support them and help them use their sign effectively. Because I can't tell you how many times we'll put a sign up for somebody. And then I'll ask them, all right, who's going to be in charge of controlling this, making the content for it? And you get all these people just pointing at each other like, okay, well, who's in charge? Who wants to step up and do this? And they don't really think that far ahead sometimes, which is crazy to think about when they're spending tens of thousands of dollars on a message board, but it happens. And, what we want to tell the sign company is, listen, you focus on finding the right customer. We'll help you sell it. And then once it's up, like you can be hands off. You don't have to worry about it after that. I think a lot of them thinks that there's a lot of homework and follow up to be done after that. But I mean, that's where we come in, and that's where we help us sell our next one. First one goes well, next one goes well after that.
What types of sign shops do you find have the easiest transition from we don't do electronic message boards to we do them, and it's relatively easy for us?
I've seen it all from really large shops where, they focus on a certain niche. Maybe they do national stuff, to even small, like 1 or 2 man sign companies. I mean, I have a ton of customers that are, 1 man, 2 man shops, and they have, an installer that they know and trust really well. And, a wholesaler that might build a sign cabinet to go with it. So, I mean, it really is a pretty broad range of sign dealers, but ones that are they're willing to, give it a shot, willing to give us a call and let us help them sell through it. I think a lot of times, they think that they have to do it all themselves, and they really don't. If you bring a rep in to help ask the right questions, and then show them some examples or some samples, or point to some other ones around town, that's going to help. It's going to help everybody do a job.
Well, we always say that, you ever drive through small towns, right? And you'll see one sign go up, and it's a very nice sign. The next one's going to be the next. They're on the schedule. The next one's on the schedule. As soon as somebody does something, it changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially with electronic message boards. Like as soon as, like the one I always think about with this is, it's bad that I'm not even going to remember the name of the place, but it's the pool place on Alpine. Dude, when that thing went up, I just thought, I don't know why everyone doesn't have one of these things. This thing is bright from 4 miles away, dude. You couldn't make, I think it's Fox Pools. I think is what it is.
It is Fox Pools, yeah.
That thing is so bright. I was like, I don't know why everyone doesn't have this, dude. I could read that sign from 4 miles away, dude. They've gone through their whole rotation 2 times. I could read it. It's unbelievable.
And did you buy a pool?
I still haven't bought a pool, but if I was in the market, I at least remember their name now. I don't know any of the other ones. So
there you go.
But that's one of the things, like once you see it and once you realize like, oh, this thing, all the ways it can be used, I think it's huge. I mean, we're seeing it more. I see it more like the one in Rockford that gets me is like the Culver's one, right? So this has become more of like a corporate program where they realize so much value in these centers that now, like when you quote out a Culver sign, you're more than likely quoting it with electronic message center. Obviously not everyone can have them, so that's a whole ordeal. Yeah. But most of the ones you run into have them. And it's because Culver's as a corporate level has done the math and said like, hey, when we look at putting these in, we think there's value in adding this to our sign versus not having it.
Definitely. And Culver's is a customer of ours. We've been working with them for years. There's a lot of national franchisees or brands out there that have invested in message centers because they are seeing the results from it. Small Business Administration did a report saying putting in a message board and ran properly will net you 15% to 150% more business. Now that's obviously a stretch, but there are a lot of statistics out there that support that adding an LED sign in front of your business is not only cost effective in terms of cost per impression, but they actually do bring in a lot of new business that you wouldn't have noticed from before.
Well, I think the technology, like you had mentioned, that I go back from 10 years to now, it is much crisper. Messaging's more easier to display. To me, I think there's just a big, we always say in the sign industry, the technology always changes 6 months. Every 6 months it changes. And I keep telling these young kids that if you don't get on the train, you're going to be left behind. Yep. So you got to stay up with the technology that's coming out, but it's always going to get better and better and better. Mm-hmm. And I think coming back from when I remember when it first started going to these shows and it's like, oh my Lord, you can't even read it. It's like bad. Yeah. But now, you kind of see it everywhere. And I think that, a good point is it makes an impression. Yeah. And it makes a good quality, for people to come in and take a look at it, and it draws your attention to the Fox One. It's just like we always joke around it when we go to the airport. We're always touching things. We're always flicking things. We're always, and it's the same thing. You see a sign, you go, I want to know what it is, who makes it, where'd it come from, those kind of things. And it grabs your attention.
Yeah.
100%.
And, funny you mentioned the airport. I mean, pretty much every LED sign there is an Electro-Matic board. So the ones you drive in, the ones in the pylons, the ones you drive underneath as you drive under, and then the one right next to security, that big video wall. We did that, 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that was one where they used to have a bunch of TVs there.
Yep.
So, and that's where you're seeing it on the interior side. I mean, they had 24 TVs that were all a different shade of blue. You'd put that airport blue color on it, and it looked like a checkerboard, because after 2-3 years, every TV just starts to degrade a little bit. And, that technology has just finally now come to the tipping point where they're at a cost-effective price point. The level of manufacturing is an area where they're going to last a long time, and it was the right time for that. So, like you said, it's it draws your attention. Yep. It's a lot more reliable to use, and it's something worth considering getting into if you're not doing it already. It's
definitely a lot cleaner than the TV look, for sure. But
yeah, for sure.
But if you're dealing with, so say Culver's is a good example of this, right? So say you're a sign shop, you don't do electronic message boards, right? And somebody reaches out, they're like, hey, we're bringing in a new Culver's, right? And here's what we're kind of looking for. And they're like, well, we don't do this before. What does that process look like for somebody that's never done one before? How would they go about putting the first one in?
Right. Well, let's talk about someone even like not a national branded one, but in any mom and pop restaurant, for example. I think the first step would be to look at their location, their address, and find out exactly what they're allowed to have there. Get an idea of, how tall is their sign allowed to be? How many square feet is the sign? How large can it get? And then from there, are they allowed to have a message board? And if so, get in a roundabout idea of what they're allowed to have size-wise. From there, get us involved, and we'll go meet with the customer and talk about, here's some options that you have. Put together some designs for them, and also ask them, what kind of content do you plan on putting on this sign? Like, are you fine just putting text on here? Like, just your daily specials? Do you want to put pictures and graphics on it? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to put motion and movement on this? Like, how complex or how intricate of details do you want to put on your sign? And then obviously talk about budget as well. And from there, you can kind of get an idea of where we're headed from there. If someone wants something very simple, text only, then we can go something that's lower resolution, like a 13 millimeter is what we offer. Some other brands do 16s and other options. And then if they want something that's a little bit more highly detailed, then we can look at the 10 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter options that are available. And, we'll show them the differences between those and give them reasons why, they're different and why they have different, price points to go along with it. Show them the features and benefits from there. And then, from there, just show them how it works and give them some supporting evidence to show, like, yes, this may be, a pretty big investment on your part, but think of it over the long stretch of time, what kind of benefits it's going to bring to you. I mean, if they're, think of this place as, on 28th Street here in Grand Rapids, it gets, how many cars drive by on a business on 28th Street?
A million of them.
Let's say
probably.
It's ridiculous.
20,000 cars, 30,000 cars. Whatever it is. I mean, you quantify that over the course of 10 years and then divide that over the price of your sign. I mean, what cost per impression could be there for your sign out there, as opposed to any other type of advertising you might do. Yeah. I don't think anything could touch a sign cost per impression if you have a location that gets any decent amount of traffic.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I mean, even if you think about it from, like, I always think about it like with Ace Hardware is always the one where, like, the only thing, this also is just good on Ace Hardware for doing a good job with their board, but the only thing that's ever on there is like sales and promotions for the most part.
Yep.
Like that is just a great use of time. Like I always think about it, like just think about it like if somebody gave you, like once you spent the money, right? Like say you could just spend, let's just put it at $10,000, right? Say you could spend $10,000 and give it to Facebook and they would just say like, yeah, you can advertise to 2,400 people a week for free. You just have to pay the $10,000 up front. There's not a single person in the world that's not like, that's a great investment.
Right.
But then we talk about it with a sign, they're like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to do that. But if you put it in that perspective, like think about it, like if Facebook gave you free money every week to advertise to people, you could put whatever you wanted up there within reason, right?
Right.
I think everyone's like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but then it looks completely different on signage. But I think if you present it well to your customers, I think there's a lot of them that would move that direction. That if it's not offered to them, they're not even going to think about it. They're not going to think, oh, I really want, like,
right.
I'm sure there's some people that are coming in and asking for it and that's what you're quoting. But I think as an add-on, especially when you're putting in some of these monument signs these companies are putting in are super expensive, right?
Yeah,
they're putting a lot of work into
big time
the design and the concrete and everything, right? They're going way above and beyond on this. And if you just added in that one extra, like, hey, would you also like,
right?
Have you thought about doing this as well? The price on some of these is not going to be a significant jump for what you're also going to add to the sign.
No.
So,
or you have guys that maybe they have a changeable copy board that had been there for 10 years and they're just looking to change it up. And, they don't even need to mess with the rest of the sign. And just adding a digital component to that when nothing had been there before, like you said, you just automatically notice it.
Yeah, it's a visual.
Out of the blue when it wasn't there before.
Yeah. Well, you know how many of those zip change letter signs are out there that there's not been a single message on there in just years, dude. Nobody's gone up there and put new letters in there. It's either been the same one or
they lost a suction cup.
Yeah, it's been none. Yeah, they have not a single letter is up there.
Letters get blown away or they get frozen. Nobody wants to go out there and change them in the wintertime. Or you get some stupid kid changing letters around, spelling something.
Yep. Missing a letter here, but you're trying to read it going, I think that is wanted.
You're looking at it, trying to figure out which one's the one in the I, and then you put it up there, you're like, yeah, that's definitely a one.
And then you get upside down letters. Like,
close enough.
Yeah, they're trying their best,
Yeah. We get it.
So what I think is cool with what you just mentioned about how it works, though, is like there's not a lot of responsibility on the sign shop in terms of selling and closing the sign, right? If they're realizing there's an opportunity and they were working with you guys, it pretty much would just be like, hey, we're looking for one. Okay, cool. I'll bring someone in that can kind of go through. I can give you like what I think size wise, what we're looking at for the sign.
Right.
But we'll bring in somebody that can kind of go through the nuts and bolts of, do I need 6 mil? Do I need 13 mil? That may be completely foreign to most people, right? But it'd be like, I'll just bring someone in. They can walk you through all of that, and then if you like what they have to say, then we move forward and we'll add it in and we'll do the install and all that stuff.
I think there's a few factors that I think right now. One is visuals. You got to have visuals of other jobs that were done, so that they can get a. I think if you're going to get, if I'm a sign shop and I'm going to get into this, I need to have visuals to show the customer of what it could potentially look like.
Right.
That'd be the first thing. And then I would probably say, this is how easy it is to change the copy. Is it wireless or is it USB? Is it, how would you explain that for somebody as a sign shop to say, because they're going to be asked that, how do I change the copy? Yeah. Well, this is how you change the copy.
Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I just want to take a minute to talk about Nicholson, the name behind R-Tape. R-Tape's the #1 application tape out there, but they are more than just tape now. Nicholson has a full range of products out there. Their new one is called NextBond. This is a UV cured adhesive. Why does that matter? It's an eco-friendly and durable option, but comparable to most of the eco-friendly options, this is a cost-effective product. So if you're looking for an eco-friendly product or a durable product or just in general a good vinyl, NextBond is going to be the one for you. This is available at wensco.com as well as all of their other products. So check it out at Wensco or reach out if you have any questions. Oh, and don't forget to use your Nicholson bucks. Have you heard about Metamark? Metamark is a company that sells premium graphic solutions for commercial and fleet signage. So whether that's walls or it's vehicles or it's tables or doors, we loved it so much we put it all over the podcast studio. So you can check it out on our videos or at wensco.com.
Yeah. So answer your first question about visuals and all of that. I mean, I would be able to spout off 20, 30 locations in our general area. Say, oh yeah, go look at, Woodland Mall signs. Go look at, all these other ones down the street or whatever. And you can point to it and say, okay, that's a 16 millimeter, just so you know, this is what a 10 millimeter looks like. And, they can get a good visual of what it is. As far as communication goes, all of these are done now wirelessly.
Okay.
The majority of us out here now are pushing, not pushing, but suggesting using cellular. So what that means is there'll be a little cell modem inside of the sign, and it's connected to typically a Verizon wireless 4G cellular connection. And the advantage to that is it allows the end user to connect to their sign from anywhere with an internet connection. When I started 10 years ago, that wasn't not a typical way of communicating with your signs. Back then, it was primarily antennas. So you'd have to attach a little antenna to your sign. You'd have to attach another little antenna to your business and connect it to like your modem or your router, or connect it directly to your computer. And you have this little antenna like attached to like your little desktop computer, and it's like facing out a window, and it's got to be pointed right at the sign. You can't have any, clear line. It's got to be perfect clear line of path.
It's like this remote that we were just trying to start it. It's right there, and I couldn't get it to turn on. That's what we're talking about here. You've had it. We're at the TV. You're like, play, and we're just still sitting here. It's playing now, I guess. But
yeah, I mean,
no, 100%.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we're over antennas most of the time, because it was tough. If you've got bushes or trees, or you got a bunch of walls you're trying to go between, then you got to get really creative, and you're crawling through attic space or things like that. I mean, I can tell tons of different stories about trying to route Ethernet cable to an antenna on the outside of a building for somebody. And so the cellular method is the most commonly used communication method now. I would say I quote that as a standard 9 times out of 10, if not more. And then the only time I wouldn't is if we're putting a sign in a real rural area where maybe the cell signal is just not very strong. Or, we'll have some customers that insist on like hardwiring it, like banks, credit unions, some schools, where they want to have it hardwired. They want it like either completely on their network or completely off their network. It's every IT person's different, I tell you. And, trying to get an LED sign onto their network, it's like asking for like their firstborn child, I tell you. So they're big sticklers on communication and security and all that. So,
which is understandable.
Right.
I mean, you don't want somebody to take over that.
Yeah, totally. So to answer your question, there's a lot of options out there, and it's just good to kind of ask the customer, hey, what's important to you?
Right.
And, we all have options to do it. Some provide, a cellular plan that's for the lifetime of your sign. Some of them do it for 5 years and then you pay extra. So that's actually a good question for a sign company to ask. If you're getting a quote from any of your LED manufacturers, is like, hey, here's some questions to ask. Tell me about your warranty. What does the warranty cover? The cell plan, what does that include and for how long? Things like that are good questions to ask.
Yeah. Going back to you talked about the difference between like 6 mil, 8 mil, 13 mil, right? Yeah. How much, if you're new to this, right, and you're getting into selling, how much of that do you need to know? Like, how much are you going to want to know at least to do discovery, if that makes sense?
That's pretty vital. I mean, that's probably, LED signs 101 is what pixel pitch means. And for anybody that doesn't know, it basically means how many millimeters apart is each pixel on the face of the LED sign. I should have brought samples in with me to show it. But, when I started at Electro-Matic 10 years ago, we were selling 25 millimeter, 20 millimeter, and 16 millimeter sign. Like 16 was as good as we got. And now here we are 10 years later, and we've phased all of those out. And 13 millimeter is basically as low as we go. And then we have 10 millimeter and 6 millimeter. So those are the 3 that we currently stock regularly. But I mean, we can get, if anybody were to ask for anything in particular, anybody can get anything you want if you're willing to wait. Like the video wall at the airport. So 1.9 millimeter. It's a 4K screen that's 8 foot by 22 foot. It's huge. So the lower the number, means the closer the pixels are to each other, which results in a higher resolution. Budget goes up from there, but the quality of images obviously go up from there. And you determine what pixel pitch is important based on two things: viewing distance, how far away are people looking at the sign from, and then secondly is what kind of content do they want to put on this sign. So, if you're selling a billboard that's a 14 by 48 billboard off the highway and people are looking at it from 500 feet away, 1,000 feet away, we could do a 16 millimeter and it would look great. But if you're looking at something from 5 feet away, then you want something that's much higher resolution to accommodate that.
Well, I always, back in my day, you kind of teach people that if you have to move your head this way, or move your eyes, you're too damn close. So quit scratching that little scratch, because you need to back up and take a look where you can view the whole thing with your eyes.
That's funny. Yeah, no, 100%.
God.
But also, like if you're not doing like picture messaging, then like text messaging on those signs, like at 16 mil, even from 5 feet, is probably mostly going to be fine. Like I think about it in terms of like, I can't remember what school it was. They put in like the stock market numbers, and it ran on like this long,
like a ticker.
Oh yeah,
1 foot tall message board. It was like all around the room, right? That probably was like I don't know, even if it was a 12 mil, I think that would have been low, but the mill was probably pretty big, but it read fine, right? Because it's just red text on a black background. Super easy. Yeah. So if you don't know what they're looking for, right, you may be like, oh, viewing distance is, they're right in front of it. You'll be like, oh, I need 6, but then it's like, oh, it's just text, and be like, oh, that changes everything. So it's just from what it sounds like, there's only a few questions that really the sign shop kind of needs to know ahead of time before they're going to bring somebody in. So it doesn't sound horribly complicated from my side of things, at least. So have you, the other question on this is obviously, so with you guys, you guys are doing most of the service work and all that kind of stuff. The sign shop is responsible for install for the most part? Yeah.
So we sell primarily through sign companies. We work with them as a vendor to a sign company. We supply the LED to them. Sign companies typically install the message boards, and then we kind of come back into the picture for training and support.
So is there, for the smaller shops, like you said, you deal with a lot of like 1 and 2 man shops. Is there a lot of money in electric message boards for the sign companies to add to their business?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways you can go about it. Obviously, there's money to be made on marking up the message boards and selling those. And then there's even more money to be made on selling everything that goes along with it. It's very rare we'll sell a message board and there's not more to be made on it. Yeah, like installation, or you're going to steel or concrete, or an upper ID cabinet that goes above it that has a permanent visual of your business along with it. So, even though the message center might be 50 to 60% of the total project cost, there's still a lot of add-ons to be made as part of the project. And if you, like you said, if you're not on board with trying to sell a message board, then you're kind of missing out on the rest of the revenue that you could get out of it.
Do you see more people realizing they want a message board and redoing their signage, or the other way around on the project?
Just going to ask that dude. Is that new project? Is it new buildings, new projects, new? You know what I mean? Or is it you're seeing people retrofit their existing signage?
Zip track signs.
I'm probably seeing more retrofits more than anything. Good. Where maybe they're going through a rebranding, or they have like an old zip. What do you call it?
Zip change.
Zip change.
I don't know what they're called. I call them zip track, but I don't know what they're
zip change.
So we do see a lot of that where they're trying to retrofit it into an existing space. I get that a lot, and a sign company will say, okay, can you give me a quote for a 2x8? And okay, ours might be 25 inches by 98 inches, and I'm like, is that size going to work for you? And good important information would be like, hey, this needs to be no more than 24 inches by 96 inches. Or if you have a strict limit, then please let me know that.
Yeah.
Just save us all a lot of time from having to go back and forth and quoting everything. But yeah, I think I see a lot of retrofits, more so than new businesses. But I think that they may just be because there's so many businesses out there that are already making that switch. So
I just think about it from when you're looking at a sign shop and how much business they do is new builds and how much of it is redoing existing signage. My guess would be it's the same way, right? So I'm more just trying to point at the fact that if you are doing any amount of retrofits, like this is something that's happening, right? And they may not have any message board before, right? It may just be they have a standard sign on the side of their building. And if you were to bring it up, be like, oh, you know what? That actually might not be a bad idea.
Right.
Especially if anyone on the, like we talked about earlier, especially if anyone on their street has one, right? Like if anyone else on the street has one, way easier to sell one once they see it every day.
Yeah,
so.
it is amazing how, we'll sell one and then, a couple days later, I'll get a message from the sign company saying, "Oh, the business across the street just reached out," or the same
Where'd
thing.
You get that sign?
Or I'll get a web lead through our website, and I'll say, "Oh, we saw one just went up down the street. Can you give me a number and call up the same sign company?" And we just kind of repeat the cycle all over again.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you guys manage the service for these signs. What does that kind of look like from the sign shop side of things? Like if the customer reached out and was like, hey, we have, a panel that went out or whatever.
Yeah. If a panel goes out, a lot of times what we can do is, we'll have the customer or the sign company if they can just email us or even like text me a picture, be like, hey, this is what's going on. Our tech guys are really good about, and everyone else is like, get a look at the sign, find exactly what's going on. They can usually diagnose it pretty quickly. And then from there, if the sign's under warranty, we can ship parts to the sign company and they can take care of it themselves. We've had the ability where if a sign company doesn't have the ability to do it, talk to us and we may be able to send our own guy out there and, work it out internally. So those are two options that we have, especially for our customers here in the Midwest.
What does warranty look like on those signs?
What do you mean? Like
on the electric message boards?
So,
is that how much variance is that? I guess.
Yeah, typically, we do a 5-year warranty, and then it covers all the parts on the signs, and that's a pretty standard warranty industry wide across the board for most of the manufacturers.
That doesn't cover like tornado or anything like that.
No tornadoes.
Oh, we've had a customer say, "Hey, my sign went down and."
Hey,
where's the warranty?
A tree fell
wait
on
a
it.
minute.
This could be very pointed for the hurricane that's coming through because it'll land probably way up. It'll probably hit the States by the time we hear this because it's gonna be in 2 weeks. It's in the Caribbean right now. So
yeah, we've had every year I get a handful where it's I had a handful in Gaylord actually when that ice storm went through. We had a few up in Gaylord that had to get replaced as part of that. I've had how many get hit by a car, because they're right at the intersection of us.
Damn it,
Tyler. So many have gotten hit by cars, and it's like, all right, insurance taking care of this one, so we just kind of do it all over again, and
I can see that happening.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of both, but the warranty is typically for 5 years, and it covers all the parts, and most manufacturers they'll also make sure to have spare parts on hand for the life of the sign as well. So you want to make sure that you have those components long after the sign's been purchased.
Is there do you have any like success stories from customers that you've seen who were like, we don't do any to now it's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
4,000 of them a year, right? Like that kind of, but like
sold how many widgets or whatever.
Yeah. How often do you see that happen where it's like they went from 0 and now they sell, even 10 is going to be a significant change for some of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a couple of national accounts where, they were like a grocery chain and they never had any message boards before. And we put one up at a location here in Grand Rapids, and what was it? They were just reselling rotisserie chickens. They were doing the rotisserie chicken deal, and they would put it out on every day. They were timing it out. They would schedule it to play from like 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. every day of the week. And they were like, I can't tell you how many rotisserie chickens we've sold ever since we put this out. And that's exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And after that, the people come in, they're like, oh, well, I'm here for rotisserie chicken. I'm going to go buy this as well and buy that. And before you know it, their cart's full. And that we hear that a lot, that type of feedback, and that's the power of what these things can do.
Yeah.
I think once you start selling them, I think it's only going to get easier. I mean, it's the same with us across the board, right?
It gets easier.
Once we are unfamiliar with the product, right? And then you just kind of do a couple installs, you are there for a few of the sales calls, right? Even with your team, it just becomes like, this is not as nearly as complex as we make it out to be.
Yeah.
When you called it a monitor earlier, I just thought that was funny because it doesn't look like that when you look at the back of it, but that's because you can't see the inside of a monitor, right? You don't usually get to see the insides.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're nearly as complicated as we make them out to be, especially with kind of like they seem like they're in more of like a modular system now where it's like, you see them when they go out, right? Where it's just like one little square. It's like, okay, well, pretty easy. I got to fix one square.
Yep.
So I don't think they're nearly as scary as we have made them out to be, or as sign shops have made them out to be. And that might just be from the ones of old, the ones 10 years ago were brutal to work with.
You see all the wires in the back of that thing.
Yeah.
But scared the hell out of me when I was going through the show.
Don't touch it.
Exactly. Yeah. You have ribbon cable everywhere. So complicated and complex. And we'll have to check. I mean, you guys, we basically share a parking lot in Farmington Hills, and we'll have to bring you guys over there sometime, but you go look at these boards now and it's so clean. They're, real, I don't know, simple is the word, but it is, the way that they're built are pretty simply now. You'd be amazed at how these are built and constructed now. Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot easier to put together.
Yeah. No, 100% they look like it at least. But yeah, I've got to look at some of the pretty complex systems that are out there, and every time they're like, this one plugs into this one plugs into this one, and then on the end it's numbered, and they're like, then you turn it on.
Right.
Like I was like,
let's see, what do I need in my basement? I have an 8.
Yeah, exactly. Can you send me a sample?
We need to test. How
big is that wall?
That's right. Well, you guys have seen the trailer, obviously.
Yes.
Yep. So we had it at the open house, a couple of them, and I think that's a great way to draw some eyes in and give people a good perspective on what these mean. What does a 6 millimeter actually look like? What does a 10 millimeter actually look like? And why does it even matter? Like, why would I spend more for a 6 over a 10? Yeah. Yeah.
So we did get a lot of people to ask us about it, which was good.
Definitely. I have 2 last questions, I guess. So the second last one is, someone's on the fence right now. They're thinking about, hey, maybe we should start adding it to our business, to our sign shop. Yeah. Kind of what would you say to them to kind of get them to move from maybe we should do it to, we should definitely do it?
Right. I would say, talk to some local reps that are in the message industry, and it's okay to lean on them and ask them questions as to what does this really take, and why should I do it? I can talk to them blue in the face about what the ROI to it, to the end users, but to a sign company, it's more or less, is it something, do you have the infrastructure in place to do it? And if you don't, who do you need to help you get there? And a lot of us can help them with referrals and connections from there to do that for them. So don't hesitate to ask us questions. Don't hesitate to get us involved. Don't be afraid to, ask for even like custom stuff too. I mean, a lot of times people assume like, okay, if we stock these types of products, something off the wall is going to be outrageously expensive. It might not be. It might just be a little bit longer to get and source for you. Another thing to mention also, and I don't know if sign companies think about this very often, is there could be some tax advantages to buying the signs too. People talk about Section 179. I don't know if you're familiar with that. With the a lot of as an equipment purchase. Equipment. I think a lot of business owners on the sign side, if they want one at their own shop, they might not mention that when they're proposing it to a business owner. And then business owners, I don't think they often think about that as well, where you could get a message center and it might be able to basically write off the whole cost of it right out of the gate.
I think adding to your portfolio of offerings,
100%.
I think that's key with any big business. Any business, you have to have more offerings of what you can do to get your name out there, and then also have customers give you a call. yes, I can do it, or no, I can't. You know what I mean? Or I have somebody that can help me do that.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's like one of the reasons we started this, right? It's like there's a lot of things that people just don't know about or aren't aware of if they're not going out to the shows, they're not coming out to open houses, and maybe they don't have time to do those things, right? So our goal here was like, how do we kind of take what we see at shows and put that in podcast format so people can be like, you know what? I haven't thought about that. So hopefully that's what we did today. Who knows if we actually pulled it off or not, but that's what we tried to do. But the thing we kind of avoided, obviously, talking about, but now I'll give you a good chance, but obviously there's a lot of options out there for electronic message boards. There's more every day, right? Yeah. They all seem to be being imported at a rapidly increasing pace, right? And magically avoiding tariffs. Who knows how that works? But guys, before we leave today, I just wanted to ask you one quick question, and that is, what is a pirate's favorite application tape? R tape. R tape is the #1 application tape in the United States, and it comes with an RLA, which is a release liner adhesion, meaning it's going to stick to the liner. Even on cut graphics, if you roll it, it's not going to tunnel, wrinkle, or curl, or anything like that. So if you're looking for the best application tape for cut graphics out there, R tape RLA is for you, and you can get it at wensco.com. Anyways, what do you think sets Electro-Matic apart from its competitors out in the space?
Yeah, you mentioned kind of the buzzword tariffs a lot, and whether we all want to admit it or not, a lot of the components in these message boards are made overseas, whether it's China or Korea or Thailand or whatever. I mean, the diodes, the circuit boards, all of that, those are all coming from overseas to some degree. Now, there's manufacturers like us and other ones in the United States that will assemble or build them here domestically, but there are components that are always going to be sourced overseas. Where we stand is we're sourcing the highest quality components that you can find. You know, you can get really good stuff overseas. You can get really bad stuff. What I will say is you tend to get what you pay for. People, if you look online for something, you find something for a lot cheaper. There's probably a reason behind that. There are varying levels of quality of diodes. You've got copper plated wire, you've got gold plated wire. There's a lot of, that talk about conductivity of electricity and all of that. And so what I would say is, if anybody has questions, they can research us on our website and get to know us. Point to dozens of signs of ours in the field, but Electro-Matic's been around for over 50 years. We've been in business since 1969 or something like that, and we have a really solid team behind us with a lot of experience, and also with this partnership with Unilumin, we're going to become even stronger. We've got, we'll probably have a dozen different product lines now that we'll be able to supply to the sign industry and the AV industry for that matter. So hopefully that answers your question. And, there's a lot of options out there. They've started to become a commodity. When I started, there were probably 3 or 4 main competitors. Now there's 7 or 8. And what I would say is, talk to each one of them, get to know your local rep if they have a local rep, and see their product for yourself. Ask for a demo and see it. Ask to see the software as well and see how easy it is to operate. Call their tech support line, see if they answer the phone, and make a decision from there. Who do you think is going to be the best fit for you and your business?
If I just clipped the end of what he said there,
we said this,
you would have thought he was talking about Wensco, dude. Exactly. If I ran it, nobody would think anything. Talk to your local rep.
Yep. We've already. Yep.
So, come and see a demo. To try their software, call their tech service line.
Even when you talk
like
about
my 4-line
copper
pitch.
and gold, we've already talked about.
It's like my 4-line pitch for Wensco, and that's what he just gave the same pitch. That's awesome.
We're all one big family here.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. I mean, I think especially in this space, I think saying we've been in business 50 years is huge, because a lot of these companies have been around 24 months, right? And we talk about this with equipment all the time, where you said 5-year warranty is standard, right? If they haven't been around 5 years, how do you offer a 5-year warranty? You haven't even been in business that long. So I think that's just hugely important when you're looking at a lot of the stuff that's coming in right now, where this isn't standard just to message boards, but on equipment and everything. I think people coming in and offering these warranties and these lower prices and they haven't been in business that long, like there's no way to back up what they're saying, right? If they give you a forever warranty on it, but they've been in business 24 months, be like, well, they're probably giving you forever warranty because they're not planning on being here to honor it, when it comes around. So
exactly.
So just something to think about. I appreciate you coming on. I did want to outro this with some pet peeves about message boards if we have time, because we were talking about Culver's, right? They have these message boards. Yeah. My biggest pet peeve with them is, so first of all, my biggest pet peeve is the people that put the weather on the message boards.
Oh,
okay.
God, yeah. Thank you.
What's wrong?
So no, that's fine.
That's bank.
It's fine. My two biggest pet peeves are the weather and the time. Okay. And I go back to my Facebook comment, right? Say somebody gave you $1,000 a month to spend on Facebook ads, right? And you're like, you know what I'm going to put out? Doesn't have my name on it or anything, just the weather. I'm just going to spend the ad and it's going to be the current weather at this exact moment. Why? What is the point?
Yeah, it drives me insane when we'll put one up and I'll do training like in person with them, and I'll show them all sorts of really cool content. And like a month later, it's the same content playing again. Like they literally have not touched it since I've been there.
They're running the demo file through it, actually.
Yeah, it still has the Electro-Matic logo.
Yeah, it says hello, Electro-Matic.
We've had that before too, for sure. But
what's the funniest thing you've seen? One of your signs display?
Oh gosh,
there's got to be something.
I'm trying to remember. I have to think about that one for a second. I know we had like one rival school.
I like that.
Shot up the other rival school's sign with a BB gun one time.
Oh no!
Nice.
And we had to get that fixed up. That was an interesting one. As far as content goes, I mean, you get some really funny ones where, they try to put some like one-liner joke on there or something like that. I guess there's also there's a ton on there.
I always see there's like disgruntled employees putting messages on the board. Those
I saw that once.
Yeah.
At Wendy's,
where it's just like, so and so slept with my wife. Is what it says on the message board. And you're like, oh, that's not great. Anyways, but going back to my Culver's one, the one that bothers me about it is, so Culver's has like the flavor of the day for their ice cream, So if you buy a kid's meal, like you get a scoop comes with it of the flavor of the day. Sometimes the entire time I can see the sign, that never comes up. So they have the weather, time, and then a welcome to Culver's sign. So I have to go through 4 rotations to get to the flavor of the day. I'll drive all the way past the sign. I'll never see it. And I just think that it cannot be good for your business, dude.
I'd say that's not on brand.
3 messages that I never learned anything. I know nothing about what's going on. No promos, nothing.
Don't care. I just want to know what ice cream's being.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah, just give me the flavor of the day. That's all I really care about.
Anything.
I want to know if I'm going to stop or not.
And then I still forget to get it. Yeah, when I go through the line. I drive all the way home, don't have the ice cream. Still pissed about it.
That was definitely not on their brand standards, I'll tell you.
No, it's not. I guarantee it's not, because the other ones don't do that, but it just drives me nuts. I want to just leave a message. Like, can you just please, just put the one on there? I don't even care about the other ones. Just leave it as the one message. It'll be way better for you than any of the other ones. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of people that get the boards and then just don't use them.
Yeah, they don't use them.
Drives me crazy.
Properly. Yeah, it is a pet peeve of mine. You're not going to get maximum value out of these things if you're not using them properly. Change your content regularly, make it bold colors, high contrast, change it regularly, use motion if you're allowed to in your area. Go bigger than you think you need to get. I've had many examples where people get a sign and they're like, oh man, I wish I had just paid in a little extra and got a little bigger. So if you're in doubt or you're kind of in between, just get a little bigger. And I'm not saying that to be selfish or anything. I'm just from feedback from people. That's what I hear a lot.
Also,
I think the content
know what colors you can actually put on the screen.
Yeah.
Because the one that drives me nuts is it happens Easter's the main problem with this one, dude. Light blues and pinks on these electrics, and sometimes they'll put them together, and you're just like, I have no clue what that says.
Yeah,
there's pink letter on a light blue background. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, stay away from pastels. Just go bold colors. I mean, that if you do that, you're gonna do fine. Big solid block letters. Don't be using cursive letters. Just high contrast block letters.
Yeah, I think of grocery stores. If they, you think of, I can't mention any names, but changing the content is highly important. I would like to see them change it to give me the update on the football score. No, I'm joking.
As I'm driving home.
As I'm driving home.
Can you put the Lions game on your message board when I'm driving home? That's what I need.
People ask that a lot too.
Can I put the game on?
Can I put a live stream on there? Like, well, technically, I guess you could. I mean, yeah.
Outside of all legal liability, I will tell you it is a doable
Why
thing.
is our cell bill? Randy?
I have this ginormous lawsuit on my desk from the UFC.
Watching the fight.
We had a plugin on our software where you could upload like YouTube videos on it. You could upload a link.
Boy.
And I remember we got our monthly cell bill because Electro-Matic, we pay all the cell data charges for the customer. They don't see it. So we'll look at it and one sign was just outrageously expensive, and we're like, what are they putting on that sign? And it was some YouTube thing that they had been streaming on their sign for months, and we're like, all right, we got to talk to these people and come to dial it back. So
that's funny.
Yep.
But anyways,
sorry, we were streaming our show.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to air out my pet peeves about electric message boards. I felt like now was a good time as ever to do it. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Hopefully this episode is beneficial. How can people get a hold of you? I guess this should have been the way I end this.
Yeah. So you can find our website at visual.electro-matic.com. You can find me, Alan AJ Nicholson, at electro-matic.com. We're all on social. You can find us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And I think that pretty much covers it.
Sounds good.
That's great.
We'll put those in the description.
Thanks for coming.
And thanks for making the really. You did it to him. You would do that to him. Right at the end too. He has to put it on the screen if he motions for it, and he did it right at the end.
These.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. There you go.
No, it's getting bad now. Anyways, thanks for making the long drive over here. We appreciate it, and hopefully this was beneficial. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. So goodbye.
See ya.